three reasons you're not being heard and how to overcome them. The number one reason I believe is that we literally void our own feelings. We are not connecting with our feelings, and we literally are cutting down our emotions. So what do I mean by that? When you're avoiding your feelings and how you feel about something, you're not vocalizing it, you literally are avoiding your voice. And when you void your voice, you will feel like you're not being heard. You may think, okay, well, why would I do that? Well, in childhood, we learn not to speak. I know for me, that was one of the things that I was told. Your opinion did matter. Some people, okay? So that's the number one thing that I believe causes people to avoid being heard and being seen. So the second thing is the way you view others. You view others better or worse than yourself. So what does that do? That means you compare yourself to others. First one, when you cut your voice down, you cut other voices down. Over here, the way you view people, you criticize people and you cut them off. Then you may think, okay, why would I do that? Well, why we do this is because we're afraid of rejection. And when you're afraid of rejection, you come on and you start to judge people and you view them as judgmental, not hearing you, not seeing you, and ignoring you. So once you have that, then you have to create a scenario that it becomes true. So you already come in defensive in a situation. They're not going to care about me. So you either cut down the person or you lift yourself up above the person. But the third thing is we validate our old beliefs. We validate the belief that we may not be powerful. We validate the belief that we're unworthy. And how do we do that? We validate the belief by confirming it, by connecting with a situation or people that don't actually value us. And sometimes people do value you, but because of this belief, you want to validate that you haven't been heard. They're old beliefs that we've been constantly thinking about growing up with. And again, I'll give you my example. I couldn't share a lot of things growing up as far as things that was happening to me. So my default feeling is to validate the fact that I am not quote unquote heard. I am not quote unquote valued. So all of those causes me to be able to create things when there is nothing. I could create criticalness when there is no criticalness. I could create people saying something that offended me when it may not even be. Hopefully you can relate to, I hope I'm not the only one. Hopefully you can relate to that. I'll give you the 3 ways to overcome this. Number 1, voice and connect. You've got to be able to voice what you're feeling. You've got to be able to connect what you're feeling or what you want to say to other people. The fact is, I think a lot of times we don't say anything and we're hoping that people read our mind. It's not going to happen. People don't know what you need until you say it. Say your needs. Growing up, you might have not been able to express your needs. And now what you do, you expect not to. It's like we're trying to have people read our mind. That's not going to happen. Number 2, value yourself and other people's contribution. Everybody comes in and contributes something. So whenever you're in a part of a group or somebody's connecting with you or you're in a relationship and you're connecting, people have a contribution. And what is that contribution? If you're critical, you will not know the contribution. You will only see the fault. Everybody has a character. Everybody has a personality. Everybody has something that they can give, something that may not be aligned with you, but they might actually trigger you, but that trigger might be something for you to grow on. You may need to grow on some, maybe compassion, maybe love. So just remember, like, to value people. As you value people, you will value your own opinion of self or ideas when you're connecting with people or a group. Lastly, your vulnerability will lead you to becoming confident. When you're vulnerable about your struggles, your needs, and all those things, bring a connection. The fear of not being heard, not being seen, and or even being visible, right? All those seen is because we feel we'll be judged. Why you think you're judged is because you've created the scenario in your mind that you're going to be judged. So therefore, you already you created a scenario and you created characters in that scenario of people that'll do that. The way you break that is you show up and you're vulnerable. You show up and you talk about your struggle. That will bring you confidence because then you bring light into the darkness of lies. Once you bring light into the darkness of lies, the lies tend to lose its power. So that's why I believe it's important for us to be vulnerable and be open with your strength and your weaknesses. And then you're not predicting what people will be saying in their mind or predicting what they're thinking. Just be open. And the more you are, the more confident you are.